If you're watching this video and you are having thoughts of self-harm, I want you to hear that you matter. So I've been a little absent from the channel recently, and part of that was by design, part of it was happenstance, and it all ties back to a very important conversation that I think we need to have. Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, and I'm sure you've experienced that yourself. I set specific goals that I wanted to accomplish with this channel for myself that I didn't meet. The goals weren't unrealistic, it just the way things fell out, it didn't happen. I tend to be very hard on myself when I miss a goal, and I get in my own head. So I've taken some time to really think about it and what I want to do moving forward and how I want this to progress. And I know you've heard me say many, many times here on the channel how important mindfulness and meditation is. But there are times when you should not meditate. Those times are when you are feeling overly anxious, if you feel out of control, if you're in a hyper-depressive state, if you are in a place where you can't get out of that state. Meditation is not the time for you. I always tend to struggle with the changing of the seasons anyway. And as we go into fall, and it's getting dark earlier, I can feel that in my own psyche. And since I was already in my head as much as I was about missing my own goals, my own self-imposed goals, I knew it wasn't the right time for me to meditate. And it wasn't the right time for me to lead any of you in that state. So let's talk about when it's right to meditate and when we shouldn't meditate. If you are in a spot in your life where you are in a hyper-depressive state, when you might be manic, maybe you're on a downswing, maybe you have PTSD, that is not the time to meditate. Meditation brings us to the here and now and what thoughts are in our head at that moment. That's a good thing when you're in a place that you can handle that. A lot of times things that we're not comfortable with will come up during meditation. If you are in a place where mentally you're not in a good spot, meditation's only going to pronounce that. It's only going to bring it out further. So not meditating is being mindful. It is being mindful of your own health. There are other things that you can do to help with a mindful state of things. For example, taking the time to make a good cup of tea or coffee, whatever it might be, paying attention to the way it feels in your hands, taking some self-care. That's still being mindful. That's not meditation per se, but that's okay. If you have PTSD, meditation may not be right for you. It can bring back a lot of those traumatic memories, and it's not going to do you any good to relive those at that moment. Instead, you can find other methods of mindfulness. For example, the video I did last fall with my brother, where he uses crochet and repetitive movement as a form of mindfulness to help with his PTSD. And I would certainly be remiss if I did not mention that September is Suicide Awareness Month. If you're watching this video and you are having thoughts of self-harm, I want you to hear that you matter. That there are people in this world that love you and care for you. You matter because you're here. You matter because you're a member of this wonderful earth that we all share together. If you or a loved one are struggling, there are resources to help you. And I'm going to ask you to please Utilize these resources if you need them. Because the world would not be a better place without you here. It would be a smaller and much dimmer place. Keep practicing your mindfulness. Come back here when you need. I'm going to end this video by thanking all of you for watching these videos, liking them, subscribing for those that you have, and thanking you profusely for making this world a better place. I wish you all joy and happiness, and I bow to each of you. If you or a loved one are struggling with thoughts of self-harm, please utilize these resources and do not be afraid to reach out.